Okay, let's talk through all these golf events that you have coming up.
Gabby, I'm glad you asked. Got my calendar right here. July 17th at Red Run, and then July 31st, I have the American Golf outing for the Cancer Society.
I also have the American Cancer Society golf outing on the 31st, and also I got yours on the 18th, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Whoa, boys, these are a lot of events and golf outings.
Well, you want me to miss my own golf tournament?
Gabby, they're all great calls.
I mean, this is...
Hold on. I got this. Guys, I got this. Don't worry about it. Hold on a second.
He always...
Hey guys, thanks for coming so fast. How are ya? Remember the guys from Randy Wise, right? Sir. The Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
Watch for the eye.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports. And some, well, not so much. Brought to you in part by Premier Security Solutions, Fairway Packing Company, and Swiss Insurance. Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
Hey, let's go! Tuesday show, May 30th, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Yes, we are here. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
What's up, my guy? What's up, Maz, fellas? How was the weekend?
What up, man?
Had such a great time this weekend. I'm walking, and even though it's Tuesday, feels like a Monday. I just feel that energy from the Memorial Day weekend. Feeling good.
Does feel like a Monday. Tom Mazawey, of course, Memorial Day yesterday. Played a best of show. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. Tom Mazawey, good to see you, buddy.
Nice to see you guys. Back in the chair, back home again. I was away this weekend, had a great time. Hope you guys had a great time as well. Hope everyone had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. And of course, always remember your loved ones and your friends and family that fought for us to be here.
No doubt about that. Can I just, one simple question before we get going to where in the hell is the year going? I mean, it is. I mean, we are coming up on June 1st this week.
Yeah.
5 months down. 2023. Are you what in the world?
We were talking about last week, man. Like, where's it gone? I completely cannot remember January, February, March. I mean, April. There's some recollection there, but then, and here we are, May, and now it's about to be June. The year is almost. I mean, we were just starting 2022. I still can remember Michigan losing.
Man,
the TCU. Feel like it was yesterday, but we got to go back through this weekend, man. We can't gloss over how.
No, we ain't glossing over nothing. I look up, it's 90 degrees and
it was snowing a couple days ago, and now all of a sudden it's sunny as hell.
Damn.
But man, it was a wonderful weekend, and I think it's. We went through that C thing. I don't even mention the C word anymore. You can't even say it on TV.
Is that 19?
Exactly. There you go. You see 19, we'll say that. But that's 2020. Insert the world into chaos. 2021 still a weird place. 2022, you start to see a semblance of it. But I think 2023 is the year it feels normal. Like, going to movement. Start off Friday. Hung out with my boy Max. We were at his house barbecue.
Oh, Max.
Max always loves when you bring up Max. But that was cool. Then I ended up going home, hung out, kept it low. But the insert, Saturday I get to go golfing with my dad. Got some video of that. Cool hanging out with him and my stepmom. And this is my first swing of the year.
Oh, my gosh. First swing of the year?
This is the first swing
Where'd
of the year.
Where'd it go, Braylon?
I think you pulled the shot.
Oh, nice
I looked
and
at the
easy.
shot.
No, you got to hear it because you hear my dad, my dad doesn't mince his word. He said, yeah, you put it out there, which is a good thing from Stan. It's a man of few words. But it's the first golf swing of the year.
Braylon, you got a beautiful golf swing
that.
there.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a beautiful thing.
It doesn't always go straight, but when it does, it looks good. But you had that, got a chance to kick with him, my stepmom, and then from there I go hang out with Max. Barbecue, his father's out of the hospital doing much better.
Oh, that's
great.
so great to hear.
100%,
That's
man.
great.
So it was great to see his pops. His pops obviously loves the barbecue. Max hooked it up for his dad and his brother. Then we humped and saw DJ Tom T.
Oh, man.
Saw DJ Tom T.
This guy to me
Check
is-
this out, man.
Why?
Is he over the Leafs yet? He over?
He is.
All right.
Movement helped him get over.
Good.
the
Have we ever figured out? Have we ever been able to figure out why DJ Tom T is not in the corner over
Right.
here spinning records for the Ermanni and Edwards
He should be
with
in
Maz
there.
show?
100%. I
should be in the Gentry
I
booth.
think now there's some openness and some optimism about the show and what we can do creatively. Definitely should put him in there.
Oh
Trying to
man,
figure some
come on,
things out.
DJ Tom T.
Yeah, but then you go from that, go downtown, get a chance to hang out in Movement a little bit.
Talk to me
Movement.
about this movement situation
Right.
here.
So Movement
Did you see
started
my
off
daughter at all?
I did not.
Okay.
If I saw her, I would act like I didn't. This is the scene Saturday night, and this is kind of the first movement since 2021. The show is back in effect. You know, you're talking about people coming from almost every country in the world for this. Techno Fest is what it used to be. Start off as a free festival, and now they charge you an arm and a leg. Thank God I ain't have to pay. But it was a lot of fun hanging out. Got home in a reasonable time.
This is the home of techno.
This is house music starting in Chicago, but then we gave our spinoff, which is techno. But then on Sunday, got a chance to go to Kensington Park.
Damn, Bray.
I've been to Kensington Park since, man, we're talking like, Father's Day 2 years
And
ago.
the art festival there?
Nah. Oh, there is. It's going
Yeah.
on this weekend.
Yeah.
I saw the signs, but we didn't stop it there. But families come out, and it was good to see the family. Haven't really been in the personal space with the family. I think COVID kind of, the C word, excuse me.
19.
I think it just made it easier to stay like away from people. I think you got used to just saying, I'll catch you next time. Well, I'll catch you next year. But it was good to see family open those channels back up. So great weekend.
That little baby niece
All
of
in
yours,
all.
by the way, has you wrapped around her finger.
She does, man, and everybody knows, and they're all like, would you let her cry? I can't let my baby cry. Man. I can't let her cry. And then I get to cap off a great weekend with a horrible ending to my favorite TV show. Now, I'm not going to... No, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to say, for those who know who I'm talking about, Succession.
Don't even say.
I'm not going to say
30
anything.
minutes left.
I'm not going to say anything.
Oh,
I'm not going
man.
to say anything. All I'm saying is it was the series finale, and I did not like the ending.
I zonked out last night. We tried to watch it last night, and I zonked out watching
Case
it.
in point.
Well, I mean, if it's 10:01, I'm out. You know?
You're talking a series finale, not a season finale.
Right.
If a series finale cannot make you stay up an extra 30 minutes, then that means it may not be.
My eyes start drooping at 9:31, and then
The
done
two
at
greatest
10.
shows had the two greatest endings.
Walter White and
Better Call Saul.
Oh,
That's
Better
it.
Call Saul over Sopranos?
We talked about that, about series finales.
Those are the two
We
best.
did.
And the disappointments, and two, obviously, Sopranos and Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Two shows that you look at, and at the time they were completely destroyed.
They were panned.
Worst endings of all time.
Yeah.
And now with time, you think they're genius endings.
Yes.
You know, I mean, you think it's just genius,
This-
far ahead of anybody's time.
There won't be any genius about this with Succession, because I also have a gripe against HBO. HBO has been letting us down as viewers on their series and how their series ended. Whether you can start with Game of Thrones, horrible ending, and the list goes on. Succession is just another.
You watch Barry?
I did not watch Barry. I didn't fully watch it.
I'm coming down to the last 4 on
I'm
Barry.
like episode 6, season 2, maybe.
Okay.
So I got to finish that. But just a lot of disappointment from HBO Max, or now HBO with the blue signal, excuse me, about how they end series.
So I'll be looking forward to the last 30 minutes of Succession tonight at this point.
Did you see HBO took their name off of HBO Max?
Yeah.
They took Max, yeah.
No, it's called Max.
It's
just
called
called Max.
It's
I mean,
blue
what-
and white now.
It used to be Cinemax. What?
HBO, home
No, I
box
understand
office.
that. But there's Cinemax too.
Now it's just oh yeah, now it's just
There's Cinemax, there's Showtime, there's HBO,
Right.
HBO Max, and now HBO drops HBO for Max.
Did you know that Showtime is now just time?
No, it's not. I give up with these things.
Matt,
Who comes up with this crap?
is
some
an interesting
genius kid
Yeah.
that just got out of college that has been studying this stuff in books.
I've had HBO since 1976.
But you know what comes
76.
next? You know what you've been paying the HBO bill since 76?
Well, my dad paid
I'ma
that
do
back
the
then,
math
but
on that,
I've been
man.
paying the last 40 years.
No, but that's real. But you know what, Ryan? You hit the nail on the head. Like, HBO dropped that HBO from the Max. 'Cause HBO was like their insignia, their logo. It's a big deal. It's a big thing. They drop it to max. They change it to blue. They charge you more on your upstream if you don't live in the same house, much like Netflix. And then they'll come out with some HBO Elite package and try to tack on another $24.99. Oh, don't worry, it's coming. They're going to bring the HBO package back in about a year. Something special.
Mike G wants to know what happened to Skinamax.
Oh,
yeah.
Now I do want to see
11 o'clock on weekdays.
Yeah.
on my Xfinity stream. Is the channel still HBO or is the channel Max?
No, the channel is HBO
Okay.
still.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
But
at least
the app is Max.
at least that's somewhat normal.
Oh, God.
The world's getting away from us, guys.
It really is.
The world is getting away from
I
us.
don't know what
I feel like
the-
HBO's trying to distance itself from the app and the streaming service and just stick to TV.
Right.
Like, no, that's Max. That's not us.
Hey, Maz, you were in Braylon's former city.
I was looking for some billboards at Braylon. I didn't see any.
You're not gonna see it.
I didn't see any.
You're
But
not
I
gonna see
basically was literally next to the Cleveland Browns Stadium, which is First Energy Stadium. Downtown Cleveland's pretty nice. They've done a great job with them. I went a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I caught a few Indian games. Now they're the Guardians. And I went Sunday to the Guardians game against the Cardinals. They won on a walk-off. I tell you, I love that stadium. I love the Guardians Stadium. It used to be the Jake.
It is
Jake
really nice.
used
It
to
is
be
really
Jake.
nice. Yeah.
Jacobs, yeah.
What the hell is it called now? Progressive Field.
Yeah.
Progressive.
It is, I don't know. It just seems,
It's very compact.
it's compact.
Yeah.
And I like the food and the way it was laid out and all. Comerica's great and all. I don't know. I think there's a lot of wasted space maybe at Comerica Park. I
Totally
don't know, how
know
to
what you mean.
describe
It feels at Comerica Park. It feels more laid out.
Yes.
kind of.
And you're further away from the
exactly. And at
Progressive
Field, you're kind of like
Yeah.
right there on top of the action almost.
I really loved it.
Yeah,
and
it's
the
a beautiful
people there
park.
Guess how long it took me to get in the game?
5 minutes.
1 minute.
Yeah.
1 minute's quick.
Guess how long it takes to get in Comerica?
5 hours.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a half an
Yeah.
hour, 40 minutes.
About 30, I was gonna say about 30 minutes. Now
Yeah.
we talked about that, as much as I don't like Cleveland for for whatever reason. Before you went, we talked on Friday. I said, hey man, but in the last 8 years, they've come a long way as it
Yeah.
relates to the Riverwalk, relates to downtown, relates to how they fixed up the
The
flats.
flats, yeah,
So they've
they're back.
definitely done a much better job. And Maz, you're right about the Jake, or AKA
Yeah.
Progressive Field. When I would go to Cleveland games, because there's not much to do in Cleveland back in those times.
There
going
really
to those
isn't
games-
still.
See, I knew it.
There really isn't
It
still.
was a fun experience. It's like they kept the food and the places to be kind of in the same spot,
Yeah.
so everybody had to kind of be around each other. But then it was closer to the game, closer to the action. Enjoyed myself. I was also there when Kevin Youkilis went crazy in 2007 when the Indians were up 3-1, and guess what? Boston Red Sox came back, baby. How
Sons
you
of
like them
bitches.
apples?
Is that like Eckler?
It is.
He's the Greek god of hitting, Kevin Euclid.
Hey, his name is Youkilis because he killed the Indians that day.
I love that. I love it.
That
Hey,
series.
Maz, how was your Airbnb?
Oh, this is the first time I ever stayed at an Airbnb.
How was the experience?
It was great. We pulled
So
up to the...
describe it for me. What?
Well, our good friends, Julie and Mark Bonatti,
Hey,
they kind of
Julie and
booked it
Mark.
for us. They kind of booked it for us. So
That
I'm
was
like,
my
all
first
right.
question.
I mean, usually, stay at a hotel, but hotels were like 300 and something a night for like
It's
for
ridiculous.
like one bed. And
Why
a
would you
half
even stay at a
bathroom.
hotel anymore?
It's terrible.
I mean, you pay all that money for this tiny box you're in.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
she finds this house. Literally,
No
I could see
bathroom.
that. I could see downtown Cleveland from the porch.
Okay.
It was at a great spot. We go in. It looks like an older house. So we go in. I'm like,
Up
ah,
Euclid?
man. But it was
Maybe
really,
Detroit?
It was on. Yeah, it was off. I forget the name of the streets.
Detroit or
Abbey.
Euclid.
We were on Abbey, Euclid,
Okay.
a bunch of them. The house was awesome. What a great place to stay, and right in the thick of everything. We were like 5 minutes away from everything. Went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It was like my third time there.
Was it clean like the Airbnb?
Oh, it was spotless.
Really?
I want to give it like 5 stars. When I go home today, I'll
Yeah.
Give it a
I'm gonna
5-star
go back-
review?
I'm gonna give it. Yeah.
Now, what are the
guy was
rules?
great.
What are the rules? Do you have to clean it yourself? Like,
Yeah, you just keep it clean. Put the dishes in the dishwasher. Make sure you're not leaving anything in the refrigerator.
Take the sheets and all
take the
the
sheets
pill
off,
towels
put
off
them
and put
off.
them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
is the
That's it.
refrigerator totally empty? Like no ketchup or mustard or anything like that?
Yeah, there was nothing like that.
Nothing
in it.
like that
If
in
you want to
there.
bring it in yourself,
Yeah,
you can, as long as
right.
you leave with it.
Right.
But it was someone's place. I don't think they live there. I think they rent it out.
Okay.
And it was a 2-story house, like a flat, and we had the bottom, and it was really perfect.
That's
I-
awesome
I-
to hear.
I'll do it again.
That's great to hear.
I'll do it again.
Airbnb is fun. I mean, when you get the good situation, it is particularly fun. Sometimes they'll have the fridge stocked. They'll have it with their stuff, but it'll be stocked, but they'll stock it enough. And then sometimes they don't. You know, the people that usually stock it, those are straight rental units. They rent those out, and the ones that stock them, maybe sometimes like, you know what, we won't be here for a month. Why don't we just put our? It's like that. So I've had it both ways, probably.
Great stuff, guys. Well, glad to be back here. We've got JB in the house, Parker behind him. He's learning the ropes over here. Parker will be a part of the show pretty soon. Our good friend Mike Gentry in the house as well, running the audio today. We love these guys. Thank them for their support here. And we thank you for watching on WoodwardSports.com. We're going to take a break. Game 7 last night. Surprise some, not me.
We also have breaking news when we come back, if you're a fan of the Warriors.
Oh, look at that. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company. Actually had some Fairway Packing steaks yesterday for dinner. For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, dry-aged beef, but you don't have to go to the expensive restaurants for this great selection anymore. You can experience the Fairway difference yourself today. Just walk into the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for those grab-and-go steaks, vacuum sealed, vacuum packed, labeled perfectly, or you can order online. They ship anywhere. Fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com. Source cut, aged, packed to perfection.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Detroit sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, coming up on 44,000 subscribers on this platform. Go to woodwardsports.com for all the latest news, articles, updates, show clips, and merchandise. And let's see if we can get to over 50 likes by the end of this segment. If you are watching on YouTube, hit that like button for us. Helps YouTube push our content out to more people. We would certainly appreciate that. Where were you when you realized the Miami Heat were not going to be the first team to ever blow a 3-0 series lead? I'm telling you guys, there probably wasn't a person on the planet other than me, but I really didn't believe it, but I did a little bit.
Do you remember what the spread was?
It was 8.
Wow.
It was 8 last night. Got down to 7 and then jumped up to 7.5.
Okay.
So they pounded the Heat immediately after Game 6.
Yeah.
But Miami pretty much dominated that game start to finish yesterday, and Miami is headed to the NBA Finals. 6 NBA Finals appearances for Eric Spoelstra in 15 seasons as head coach. Remarkable journey for that franchise.
In the words of my man off South Park, Jimmy, I cannot believe the Heat did what they did. To be stacked up against those odds, they went up, they jumped out 3-0, they played amazingly, but to lose 3 and to lose like they did in Game 6, which we'll get to because Mass has a whole ordeal about that, but to lose like they did in Game 6, to have to go to TD Garden, which is a horrible place to play. Just the city
Not for the Heat.
I was just about to say, in the city of Boston by itself, to go there, have the resolve they played with, and to jump out like that out the gate. Obviously, Jason Tatum got injured, but the energy in which they played with, they were unrelenting from the jump. And to finish Boston off in Boston to get to the finals for Eric Spoelstra, second time in the last 3 years, amazing for him and amazing for that franchise, man. I tell you, they're like the only college-style team in the NBA. And what I mean by that is they play together. They don't care how they get it done. All they care about is the W.
So just a couple of stats about, and I understand that everybody probably has heard about these by now, but 151 times an NBA team has led a series 3-0. 0 times has a team come back all the way to win. So until it happens, I was going with the Heat with history on their side. In fact, Of those 151 times that a team has had a 3-0 series lead, only 3 other times. Last night was the 4th time that the team is even forced a Game 7.
Yeah.
So that's just how rare it is. Now, last night was the first time Game 7 was played on the road, essentially, for a team. But I was playing history, playing the numbers. And until it happens, I was going with the Heat. And I just, in a 1-game series, I'm taking Spoelstra and Butler.
I think
I'm taking Spoelstra
Caleb
and Butler.
Martin?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Holy crow.
So that was my favorite reason for watching the series was Caleb Martin. I want to jump in that to a second. But you're right. You should favor the side of history. You should trust history when it's 151-0. But the only thing, history doesn't tell the complete story, right? And the reason why I looked at it like this, and I took the Celtics much like Maz, we said, hey, if they got these 2 games, they will win Game 6, which, oh my God, did they? And then they will carry that momentum and win Game 7. Because you look at how the teams are constructed. You look at what the Miami Heat is. I think we focus so much on what they were with Vincent, what they were with Strus, what they were with Robinson, what they weren't. We focused on what they weren't. We focused on what the Celtics were, what they were supposed to be. Jaylen Brown being this guy. Jason Tatum being a superstar in the making, a guy that can take that next splash. We focus on the shooting, the leadership of Marcus Smart, the defense and all that. Being in Boston, the luck of the Irish. We saw all those things, and that's why we did it. But none of that seemed to matter, with the exception of Jason Tatum getting that ankle injury and played the first possession. But other than that, it didn't matter. Miami Heat didn't care about any of that. And Jimmy Butler, at the end of the press conference last year, when they almost made it to the finals, but he missed the shot by this much, at the press conference he said, don't worry, we'll be in the same situation next year, and by God, if they weren't, and it was a different outcome.
Oh, my God. I wish I had this kind of guy on the Pistons. This kind of guy is what the Pistons are missing, man.
Yeah.
This guy he's just a winner. He's a leader. My favorite stat, of course, is the both Boston teams, the Bruins, and of course the Celtics. Losing a Game 7 to a number 8 seed. I love this stat. I will have this stat. I will cherish this stat forever. Both Boston teams lose to an 8 seed in a Game 7 on their home ice and home floor.
Is New York the only place that could wake up with neither one of their teams in the playoffs and have
happy.
This much elation?
Yes.
Because I guarantee you're not the only New Yorker that felt like that.
When the Red Sox won the World Series, and I forgot what year it was.
2007?
The headlines of the New York Post was like, Dodgers lose. It wasn't Red Sox won the World Series. We hate those sons of guns, and I'll just hate them for the rest of my life. And now they get to play against a team that's been sleeping for about 8-9 days in the Denver Nuggets.
You know, I just don't think, though, just sticking with the Heat for a minute, I just don't think we really give them enough credit for what they've done. I mean, we're talking about an 8 seed going to the NBA Finals. Game. They lost their first play-in game. Had to win 2 more to even get in the playoffs. And now, I mean, remember when Dikembe Mutombo is an 8 seed for the Nuggets?
Yeah, he was laying out on the court.
Knocked out the Seattle Supersonics and was laying on the court like this. I mean, those days don't happen.
No, they don't.
I mean, it's very rare to win a game in a series as an 8 seed, let alone to win a series and then win 3 series and make it to the NBA Finals. It's unheard of in this league.
And the crazy thing about it, too, is so technically they were a 7 seed, but then because they lost the playoffs, I mean, the play-in, they become the 8 seed. Usually when you see a 6 seed like the 2006 Miami Heat, or you see a 7 seed, or you see a 5 seed, usually it's a team that has 1, 2, 3 superstars, and they've overachieved. They had some injuries throughout the year. They started off bad. They weren't clicking. They weren't gelling. Maybe had some inner fighting or something like that. So they're legitimately a 6, 7 seed that really could have been a 3. Really could have been a 2. Really could have been a 4. Rarely do you see an 8th seed that is an 8th seed. This is an 8th seed. The way they shot early on in the year, I mean, up until the last 18 games, they shot horrible. Everybody had a down year. They didn't play well. They were the worst scoring offensive team in the league. They were a bad team that deserved an actual 8th seed. To go from that and losing the play-in to also dominating the Bucks and Giannis the last 2 games, dominating the Boston Celtics the first 3 games of this series. Like, to go from that to that, it's the fastest transition I've ever seen in my life as it relates to NBA playoffs.
I'll tell you, I loved what Eric Spoelstra said. They talked about the Celtics, and he said, first, let me tell you this. The Celtics, great organization, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? Pat Riley told us all about what this Boston team means to him. Yeah. I'm the caretaker of this team. We all know what this means to Pat Riley going forward. He hates those SOBs.
And they hate him too.
Yeah.
You know, Pat Riley's been in 19 NBA Finals as a player, coach, president. That's 25% of all NBA Finals in league history.
Sheesh.
Pat Riley's been involved in.
It's like Tom Brady.
And to think that they didn't really
Belichick.
pay it. Remember when they didn't want to pay attention to Pat Riley?
Nope.
Remember we watched the HBO series?
We did.
They were like, hey, Pat, why don't you go sit next to Chick Hearn on the radio broadcast, see if you can do something there. We really don't have any room for you. And he kind of forced his way in with when Jack McCloskey went down.
When he
got in with, who was the guy that ran Loyola Marymount?
The sweetheart.
I see his face right now. I see his face.
Jason Segel played him.
No, the guy that got fired.
The first coach of the Lakers to win that
Westfall.
Yeah.
Paul Westfall.
No,
Westhead.
Yes.
He was Paul Westhead's buddy.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, you got a spot on my bench. But when Jack comes back, Jack McCloskey, you're going to or Jack McKinney.
Yeah.
You're going to be gone. But then they didn't bring Jack McKinney back, and they just gave the damn job to Westhead, kept it a couple of years, and Pat Riley inherited it. The rest is history.
You know, I was going to say, if you're in the NBA or if you're in the NHL or even the NFL, really, I don't know if it really works in baseball, but you've got to look at what the Heat, and that word culture is thrown around all the time. I even hate to say it because I think it's overused, but they talk about that Heat culture, and that's their hashtag Heat culture. Yeah. And you see Pat Riley wearing culture shirts where the Lions wear grit. But it just goes to show you that if you do have an elite organization, and if you get the most out of your players, and if you put people in position to succeed, and yes, you need a star like Jimmy Butler, but he's a star. I wouldn't consider him a superstar, but he is a star. No. You have to have one. It just goes to show you how far you can go. I mean, Caleb Martin, an undrafted rookie in 2019, 60 times a team passed him over. Yeah, I mean,
26 points last
year. 26 and 10.
Yeah.
You talk about Caleb Martin. Caleb Martin out of Santa Cruz. Caleb Martin was my favorite player in the series. Caleb Martin should have won series MVP. And I understand Bam Adebayo got it. I understand how well he played. I understand how well Jimmy Butler played. Caleb Martin should have won MVP of this series. He had a quote at the end of the game. They were asking him about, because, he did the one on the baseline, did the dribble snake, fade away, turn around, right on Al Horford, who's 6'10 and a half. By the way, they asked him, he said, it's always been in my bag. But it's gonna come out at some point. I'm a hooper. All of us are hoopers. He said we can play basketball. We just had to take roles to fit in and get in there.
Great.
He said, and it just came out like this in Game 7 in Boston. But it's always been there. They know who they are. They know what good basketball players are. They know the road they had to sacrifice to get here. And you go back to Pat Riley. When you've won anywhere and you consistently win, you're a winner. You can create a program, but it's easier to buy in when you see someone have success. So when you're the players that come from the Heat, you're looking at what he built in L.A., Showtime Lakers. You're looking at what he built in New York, which is a team that failed him, not the other way around. You're looking at what he built in Miami. They were the number 1 seed in the East back in the 90s a couple times over. People forget that because they didn't close the door with the chip. And then obviously what he did in 06 and then hiring Eric Spoelstra. He is a winner. It's proven. It's true and true. And when your players and everybody just wants to win, Jimmy Butler doesn't care about the trophy or the independent trophy. He doesn't care about 39 points a game or that. Those guys are out there to win, but it starts at the top. You show me a successful franchise, I'll show you a successful front office, a successful owner, and that's Pat Riley.
100%. You know what Pat Riley said? He says, don't come in my office and ask me to fire the coach.
He got rid of LeBron.
Yeah, that was his quote. Don't come in my office and ask me to fire the coach. I don't know who to root for here. I love the ABA Nuggets, came in 1976, haven't won yet, haven't been in a final yet. or the Miami Heat, who's an expansion team, who I really didn't like coming up, because LeBron kind of ruined that for me.
Right.
I think they got the best logo in the NBA, by the way, the Heat. I don't know who to root for. I'm just going to have a good time and hope that these games go into overtime.
I'm going to have a good time with the series as well.
Yeah.
I lean Miami in terms of my rooting fandom, just because you got a man running the frickin' team.
Absolutely.
You got a man. Doesn't take. He's not here to be
But
taking
Mike
your
Malone's
BS.
a good guy.
Mike
true.
Malone. I mean, there's an organization as well that kept their head coach for 8 years without really virtually. If you don't win a championship in 8 years, chances are you're gone.
Yeah.
They kept him along, and now that's paying off. I do lean Miami, but I could see my fandom going back and forth for sure. I have a question about the Heat as it relates to one particular player. How great could this guy have been if he stayed in Miami? What would his legacy be now? But first, a message from Cousins Maine Lobster.
Yes, sir. Cousins Maine Lobster. Cousins-MaineLobster.com. Couple of those beautiful food trucks rolling around with those beautiful kitchens in them, and they got the best seafood in town. You would think you're in New England, but you're not. You're right here in Detroit. So click right now and get onto their website. You can use that QR code right now. Just put your phone up to it. It'll take you right up to their website. Download that schedule and find out. You can even call ahead, get your food, go pick it up, pick up some points, and the more points you get, the more money you save. Trust me, it's the best seafood in town right here in Detroit. It's Cousins-MaineLobster.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, everybody out there. Thanks so much for doing so. If you could, tell a friend about Woodward Sports. Hopefully you like what you hear. Giving you a digital option here for your sports talk. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. Guys, I have an interesting question for you. I think it's interesting because I thought about this morning.
Okay.
How would we view LeBron James if he stayed in Miami?
LeBron James.
It's been 9 years since LeBron left Miami. He's won 2 championships. Obviously, you could give him the one back because the Lakers beat Miami in the bubble for the championship. If LeBron is on that Miami team, chances are they win that.
There you go.
They win. So he's got that championship.
Right.
Could he have gotten 1 or 2 or even 3 more with Eric Spoelstra in this organization?
Yeah.
If you have the talent of LeBron James with the organization of the Miami Heat, it feels almost unbeatable. Now, he left Miami back to Cleveland. Then he left Cleveland for LA. He's bounced around. But I just think, this ever green conversation about LeBron versus Michael, I think we would view LeBron much differently if he just stayed put in Miami. I think he would have a lot more team success over the last 9 years than he has. And I know he's won 2 championships, but I think he would have maybe won 3 or 4 championships in the last 9 years if he stayed.
In my estimate, I disagree. And the reason why I disagree is because no matter what LeBron did after he made the move to go to Miami and pair up with D-Wade and Chris Bosh, it didn't matter what happened after that. The viewpoint or what you thought about LeBron was set in stone on that moment. He left. He's super teamed up. He got with Chris Bosh, who was at that time top 3 power forward in the league, and he got with D-Wade, who's at that time the most underrated player in NBA the last 20 years, and he still was a top 3 two guard at the time in the NBA. We would have thought about the same way, and then obviously they start winning championships. We would have said it was D-Wade's team. D-Wade would have retired. LeBron would have taken over. Some more stars would have gone to that team under the tutelage of Pat Riley. It still would have been an unfair situation, and nobody would have gave him the credit. They would have always tried to shade him by saying it was D-Wade's team, much like Rob Parker always says the LOAT and not the GOAT. I think him leaving Miami, going back to Cleveland, that had not known a championship in any sport, but except for the Indians long time ago. Now the Guardians winning that championship in Cleveland with that team against a Golden State Warriors team that was 73-9. 73-9. I think that was a better part of his legacy than staying in Miami, because he wouldn't have got the credit, I believe, in estimation anyway, once he made the decision.
Okay. He's the hometown boy. Went to Cleveland. It's a great story.
Yeah.
Took him to their first championship. Then he does the stupid decision.
The Lakers?
No, the
Jim
decision.
Gray decision. That's what
The
it's
Jim
called.
Gray. When
The
he sat
decision.
down and said, I'm going to Miami.
Oh, yeah. He didn't win a championship with Cleveland.
Oh, he didn't win at that point. You're right.
Yeah, he didn't win.
But he did later on. Anyway, he does the decision. He goes to Miami, plays on the super team, wins. Then he decides to go back home. Now, going back home, I think that was great.
Yeah.
But then stay there.
I agree.
Stay there. Don't think you're going to go and make your legacy better with the Lakers. Because Dan Gilbert would have gave you the same freaking money that the Lakers would have given you. But you wanted to go out to the super team. You wanted to go out to the darling of the NBA. It's the LA Lakers and it's the Boston Celtics. Those are the two darlings. You don't want to stay in Cleveland, even though you're the king of that city. I have no respect. I just don't. I don't like what he did. I don't like anything he did in his career.
So you got to answer one of them though, like the Miami Heat situation. Would he have more respect, Maz, in your estimation, if he would have just stayed there after he made the decision?
Yeah. Once he made the decision to go to Miami, he should have stayed there.
Okay.
To me, that's what you do. First of all, you're making more money.
Yeah.
You're not paying tax. That team really could have won. But you know what he did instead? He went to Pat Riley and said, fire Eric Spoelstra. I don't want him. So what does Pat Riley say? Well, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, I'm going to go back home. Okay, go back home. That's what happened. He always has to be the brains of the operation. That's why I never liked him or respected him. Is he a great player? Of course he's a great player. He's the top scorer of all time.
Yeah.
His body is amazing. He works out like a fiend. He's a monster.
I can get you a date.
I'm not into that. I'll date his wife, though.
Savannah is lovely. She is
Anyway,
lovely.
my point is,
Yeah.
I hated what he did in his career. If you're going to jump out of Cleveland, the hometown team, go to Miami, then stay the hell in Miami and finish your career there. Don't be bouncing around. Or if you went back to Cleveland, stay in Cleveland.
Yeah.
I don't respect it. Could he have won more championships in Miami?
Hell
I think
yeah.
he could have.
She heard what he said when he first got there. He said, not one, not two, not
Yeah.
three, not four,
Yeah.
not five. He didn't know he was going to run to Tim Duncan and
He didn't know he ran out in two.
Kawhi Leonard. But the interesting thing, too, is, like, let's just take a step back for a second and understand who LeBron is at his core. LeBron is a thought-out, meticulous individual that will leave no stone unturned. His decision to go back to Cleveland was already in the making. Like, that whole process played out like this, Ryan. Shoot, he got scared after San Antonio put the work to him in 2007. He was like, nah, it's not going to work. And then the Celtics teamed up, and they got the super team, the older super team. He said, look, let's go somewhere and get a championship or two first, just so we have one. In case we never get one, let's get a couple. Then let's go back to Cleveland and see what we can create. Let's see how many start tracking the points. By this year, I should be able to pass it. How about we go to L.A. around this time so that I can put on the purple and gold? Because there's nothing iconic about Cleveland basketball team. No disrespect.
Correct.
There's nothing iconic about it. When you think Michael Jordan, he created the icon that is the Bulls. The Bulls are now an iconic franchise because they have Mike. The Lakers will always be iconic. The Celtics will always be iconic. LeBron's not going to the Celtics. He's not going to the Bulls. Insert where Kobe played before he died. LeBron always is about the narrative for years to come. Where we see now, and we see his feelings about your feelings about him now, he doesn't see that. What he sees in 100 years, when you look at the record books, the videos, the pictures and everything, all it's going to be is LeBron James. He could care less about all the other stuff.
I know that.
Yep. He's like 100 years in the future.
Of course.
100%.
But like I said, he wants to be the boss.
Yeah.
No matter where he's at.
Maybe it wouldn't have worked then. You know, I mean, maybe just two alphas butting heads like Pat Riley and LeBron James would have just never worked. And as Adiz 411 put it, like LeBron did consider the 4 years in Miami his college. He grew up in Akron, got drafted by Cleveland, never left home. That 4 years he spent in Miami essentially was like his college years, and then he went on to be an adult.
That's a great point.
Yeah,
that's a great point.
I mean, you don't consider that, but for a 18-year-old kid who stays home and plays his first 7 years in Cleveland, I mean,
not to mention
that's how you keep it interesting anyway.
That's a damn good point. I never even thought about it like that, but that's absolutely right, because when you think about it from LeBron, when he was in Cleveland, I was there at those times. I'm playing for the Browns at that same time. I saw those teams. I went to those games. They didn't have a lot of star power coming to Cleveland to play with LeBron. And this is LeBron you're talking about. This is the next up. He's the next thing. He's the one that's going to be next in line once Kobe retires. Guys weren't lining up to play with him. You'll have a guy like Antoine Jameson come play in year 13. You have a guy like Drew Gooden play who's already in year 13. You have a Damon Jones who's coming off the bench. But you didn't have guys like a Chris Bosh, like a Powell when Powell went over to the Lakers, how the Lakers fleeced him from Memphis. You didn't have those guys. So he had to leave to play with some guys that go win a championship.
No doubt. Yeah. And I thought about this morning. I thought it was interesting.
It's a
great question.
We do have some breaking news in the NBA today. Bob Myers, the general manager of the Golden State Warriors, the architect of 4 NBA championships, he was there for 11 years, has resigned from his post. He says, quote, "It's just time. It's just time. Time to move on."
What that means is it's time to get paid, and the Warriors franchise isn't paying him. You look at the guy that's been there 11 years. He's orchestrated trade after trade after trade. They won a championship last year in large part because of who? Andrew Wiggins. Who brought Andrew Wiggins there and got rid of D'Angelo Russell? Oh, that was Bob Myers. Who drafted Klay Thompson, et cetera, et cetera. So he wasn't getting paid. He's not happy, and they're not going to pay Klay, and they're going to extend the one player that he has a kind of friction with, and that's Draymond Green. So Bob Myers is like, I got to go somewhere where they appreciate you. Hey, Bob, Detroit will appreciate you.
Oh, yeah, we will.
Draymond Green, a free agent, and Klay Thompson, 1 year left, $43 million on his deal. They got some question marks there, and I do think there comes a point where the voice just gets old. It just gets stale, and maybe when you've put something together, Steph Curry is no spring chicken. I mean, what's he, 36 years old? So you're going to have a total revamp coming up.
Yep.
You might have 1 or 2 more years of this.
They had a hell of a run, though.
Yeah, what a run. What a run. Absolutely.
Where's Klay going to go, you think?
Who knows, man? I mean, who knows how long LeBron is trying to play? I know out of all those guys, like he really, really likes Klay a lot.
Oh,
so.
no, don't.
Excuse me.
Well,
Don't
that
go
wouldn't
to
be
the
out of the. I mean, his dad did play for the Los Angeles
Yes,
Lakers,
I know.
Michael Thompson.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
so
Okay.
he's a shooter. You know,
Well,
LeBron.
there you go. That's where he's going. Mark it down.
I'd love to. Look. As much as we don't like LeBron James or some of these great Michael Jordan or whoever, some of these great players
Brett Favre.
when they're great players, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, we hate these guys. That's part of what sports is. It's better. Basketball is better when the Lakers and Celtics are good. Hockey is better when the Maple Leafs are good. Football is great, well, anytime really, but when the Packers and the Cowboys and the 49ers are good. That stuff matters, and that's why that's why you hate these guys.
What's so funny is I know this is kind of off subject because it's not sports, but it's entertainment. Like I hated Shawn Michaels growing up. Like I hated Shawn Michaels. I was such a Bret Hart guy, and obviously the Montreal Screwjob.
It's the same thing,
and just the
really.
disrespect for Shawn Michaels. I hated Shawn Michaels, but when he retired, I was mad. I was like, no, you can't retire.
Right.
1, I want to hate you some more, but 2. It's a phenomenal wrestler. It's like, so you want to see him. It's the same thing. You want to hate him. But till they retire, and you're like, hey, Tom, man, you sure you can't come play for the Raiders this year?
Better to hate them than not care about them, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
how long?
It's just true.
Right? I mean, I'd rather be hated than not cared about.
Agree.
If you
hate it, you thought about it.
That's right. That's what your guy Howard Cosell say. 50% of the people love me, 50% of the people hate me, but 100% of the people are talking about me.
That's right.
That's it.
That's what he
That
used to
is
say. Guys, we'll take a break. Continuing on with some NBA stories. We get to 100 days away from the Lions and Chiefs. We'll get to some NFL storylines, including storylines regarding the Detroit Lions, but I want to stick with some NBA. The Philadelphia Sixers have a new coach and another referee being investigated by the NBA. Why? We'll get to that. But first, a message from Les Stanford, Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. That's right, Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale, a trusted name for over 50 years. Les Stanford Buick GMC, same great service that customers have come to know. You can go check them out on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. And of course, looking for a Chevy or Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, right there on Michigan Avenue. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new road.
Find them.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
WoodwardSports.com, Woodward Sports on YouTube. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We got JB in the TD booth, and of course Mike Gentry in the audio booth. Thanks so much. We've got our guy Parker over there learning the ropes from JB. Nobody better to learn the ropes from than Jeremy Bryant.
How was JB's birthday weekend?
Oh, man. JB, did you get after it? Did you get after it at the birthday weekend?
That could be an inkling.
Yeah, I see that dispo hat on.
No, that could be an inkling.
I didn't get after it this weekend, but I did have a very good weekend. Just chilled, relaxed. Went out to dinner with my mom, stepdad, family. Went to see Fast 10. I cannot recommend Fast 10 enough to everybody. Go and check it out. I'm serious. Definitely go and check it out. Spend some time outside, grilling, barbecuing. But other than that, it was just a chill Memorial Day weekend.
I love that. I love to hear that, Jeremy. Thanks so much.
Is that the 10th Fast and Furious?
Crazy, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's a 10.
Yeah, so
They
basically,
just keep churning that out, man.
1 was great. 2 was, 3 was horrible. It was Fast Tokyo Drift. Then they reintroduced the Fast and Furious at 4, which was interesting. It held my attention. And then 5 introduced The Rock, which introduced him to the world mostly. So 5 became a good thing again. 6 was good. 7 was Paul Walker dies. 8 was what? 9 was no. And then according to Jeremy with Jason Momoa, 10 is the thing. So congratulations, that is Fast 10 episodes.
Dang. Say so.
Dang.
A lot of money spent on Fast and Furious.
Hell yeah.
Guys, really the first domino, I feel, has fallen in the NBA head coach. We say the Pistons don't have a coach. Well, a bunch of other teams don't have a coach either, right?
Yeah.
Like what's taking the bulk of the time here? Why is everything kind of at a stalemate here? But Philadelphia is the first team to hire somebody. I believe they're the first to hire somebody for a head coach, and it is Nick Nurse, the former championship coach of the Toronto Raptors. He was fired by them. According to Adrian Wojnarowski, reached a deal to become the next head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers. Nurse, who won the NBA title and Coach of the Year award with Toronto, now gets to coach the 2023 MVP, Joel Embiid.
Who he kind of abused.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't he say
did.
stop whining, stop running to the refs?
He did. Since I run to the refs in that series in which Kawhi hit the shot that bounce, and drops in the corner to get them to the finals where Kawhi be MVP. This is an interesting situation when you watch this because Monty Williams is a better coach, in my opinion, than Nick Nurse. The difference is Monty Williams wasn't hired by Matt Ishbia. And when you come into a team, when this is now your team, your owner, you got to make a move. And we talked about this. You got to make a move fast, so a move is your move. Kevin Durant, he went after Kevin Durant, bought Kevin Durant in, got rid of some pieces. Boom, Matt Ishbia makes his first move. Now he fires Monty Williams, hires Nick Nurse. That's the next move. Now he's got his guy. He's got his coach. Hey, I hired you. Remember, we can work this thing out, blah, blah, blah. But then Nick Nurse, I thought that Dwayne Casey could have won that championship because, LeBron left the East. He wouldn't have had to worry about LeBron, KD, as well as Klay Thompson get hurt. So I think Dwayne Casey could have won that. But with that said, Nick Nurse did a very good job of developing Pascal Siakam. Pascal Siakam is a guy to learn how to play the game late, develop to well. He becomes an all-star. He's a perennial all-star and an all-pro player. And look at Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet, since he's been there with Nick Nurse, has become an all-star, has become a guy that is, as they say, got the bag. So when you look at this team in Philly and what they have, they're looking at Tyrese Maxey, guy that they want to develop. They're looking at a couple other young pieces. This is a good move from that standpoint to develop those young pieces. The question is, how is it going to fit with James Harden? That's the question.
He ain't going to stay.
I think he's going back to Houston, James Harden, to be honest with you. But, Nick Nurse gets another shot. You know what I mean? That's just kind of what anybody that's won a championship is going to get another shot. I mean, Doc Rivers got another shot. Budenholzer will probably get it. This was his second shot, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Budenholzer coached Atlanta and then won with
Did Trae
Milwaukee.
Young get him fired too?
Trae Young got him fired along with every other coach. Trae Young has gotten fired.
Trae Young going to the Lakers too?
I don't think. I think Monty Williams is going to sit this year out. He's still due $20 million.
Yeah.
So I mean, he can make $20 million and not coach, really. So I mean, if you're Monty Williams, why not just wait for your job that you want?
Just go meet Kingsbury in Thailand.
Right? Actually, did you see Cliff Kingsbury
He's in St. Louis? What is that?
And Jay Glazer tweets out video of Brett.
Something happened?
Jay Glazer has a party at his house. Tweets out Brett Michaels playing Sweet Child of Mine or something like that. He's got John Gordon, the public speaker, motivational speaker there.
That's your guy.
That's my guy who liked my tweet, as did Jay Glazer. Liked my tweet.
Look at you.
Was that?
Sean McVay and Cliff Kingsbury. All there just singing Sweet Child of Mine.
What was your tweet?
Every rose has its thorn.
Every rose has. I was about to say Sweet Child. That's Axl Rose.
Yeah, right. Sweet Child of Mine. I get my
we
rockers
went to the
mixed
concert.
up.
How
That's
could you
right.
forget?
But my tweet was, boy, Jay's got some cool friends. I mean, Jay Glazer sitting there with Cliff Kingsbury, Sean McVay, and friggin' John Gordon.
That's
and with what's his name playing?
Axl Rose.
Axl Rose. Not Axl Rose.
You just said it.
What's it?
Everybody. He had the TV show.
Him.
Brett Michaels.
Brett Michaels. Thank you.
How
How
cool
cool is
is
that?
I was going to say Shawn. I said Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart 2 seconds ago. Now you bring up Brett Michaels. Look at that.
It's all so much. But again, I don't think Monty Williams is coaching. But
I think he's going to coach the Knicks. Not this year, but when the Knicks fire Tom Thibodeau.
That thing might have run its course. I mean, Thibodeau runs guys. No, I mean he's a stop by kind of guy. He'll stop by. He stops by with the Bulls. He's going to stop by with the with the Knicks. He ain't stopping anywhere.
Stop by, piss players off, and then get up out of there.
Well, I mean, essentially, he is a coach. You need coaches like Tom Thibodeau. You need coaches to take you from A to B.
Yeah.
But you can't go from B to C with that guy.
No, not at all.
It was almost exactly
like Mark Jackson.
Like Mark Jackson. It's also like a little bit closer to home, like a Rick Carlisle. I mean, Rick Carlisle got you from A to B, but he wasn't going to take you at that time from B to C. It ultimately worked out with him in Dallas, and he won his championship there. But there are just some guys that wear on you, man, and you can't stay that long.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's guys that wear on your legs, they wear on your energy, they wear on your emotions. I played for a coach in San Francisco where we saw that kind of thing go on, man. Like, players were worn out by the time you got to the end of the season, the off season, things like that. Couldn't get over that Super Bowl hump with set individuals. So I've seen it firsthand.
Guys, wanted to play this video. Do we have the Scottie Pippen?
We do.
We do. I want to get to this because saw this over the weekend, and
CTE.
it just feels like a really, really tough deal, and I hate seeing it. I'm going to play it for you now. But here's Scottie Pippen talking about Michael Jordan over the weekend.
Oh, man.
LeBron will be the greatest statistical guy to ever play the game of basketball. And there's no comparison to him. None. So, does that make him the greatest player to ever play the game? I'll leave that out for debating because I don't believe that there's a great player because our game is a team game and one player can't do it. Like, I seen Michael Jordan play before I came to play with the Bulls. You guys seen him play. He's a horrible player. He was horrible to play with. He was all one-on-one. He's shooting bad shots. And all of a sudden, we become a team and we start winning. Everybody forgot who he was.
Huh?
So did those 161 million people who bought his first pair of shoes in 1984 forget who he was throughout the 80s process? He was a horrible player before Scottie Pippen got there. You're talking about the same guy that James Worthy calls the best player of all time, the same guy that was on that UNC team to hit the shot. As a freshman, the play was designed by Dean Smith for him. They weren't designing plays for freshmen last time I checked in 1981. A horrible player, the same guy that barely got to the playoffs with a team of guys you couldn't even strung together at St. Cecilia's gym down there. The talent probably would have been better down there. Scored 63 at the Garden. 63 on arguably at that time the team everybody called the best constructed NBA team of all time. That ain't Max's house, Maz, that Scottie Pippen is on. I tell you, like, that ain't Max's house. Somewhere along that line of the Last Dance interview, somewhere along the line of Larsa Pippen and Future, of Larsa Pippen and now Michael's son, has broken Scottie Pippen. And I think he is in this spiral that he can't get out of. Like, once he opened Pandora's box, he doesn't know how to get it. He's just digging himself deeper and deeper, and the resentment is growing stronger and stronger. Look, I love Scottie as a player with the Bulls.
Me too.
I hope that he finds some peace at some point and get over this, because it's not a good look, and it's only going to get worse. It looks desperate. It looks bad.
Listen, to call LeBron the best, that's your opinion. You could have that. But to call Michael horrible, a horrible player before I got there, before we put a team together, he was a one-on-one player, but horrible. Where does he get that word?
Then once we got there, everybody forgot about him. What is he on?
Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, the Everly Brothers, Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis,
Sonny and Cher,
John Lennon and Paul McCartney, Chris Webber and Jalen Rose, Scottie Pippen, and Michael Jordan. Oh, we can't forget about Regis and Kelly Ripa.
Shaq and Kobe for a long time.
They hated each other. All those duos that I just named hated each other.
Abbott and Costello.
And there is something sad about it. Mike Greenberg tweeted, he grew up
in Chicago.
He grew up in New York, but he worked in Chicago. He covered those Bulls teams. That was like his first jobs. And there is something genuinely sad when you see these two people that brought you so much joy. They hate each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost silly, like totally an over-the-top example. But when I found out that Regis and Kelly Ripa hated each other, I mean, it's so dumb. What do you hate each other about? Like, appreciate each other. And it's the same with Scottie and Michael. I mean, I do think Michael goes in hard on Scottie.
He does. He
goes in hard on Scottie.
Mike's an asshole. Mike's Mike.
That's
100%. Mike is an a-hole.
He goes in hard.
Yeah.
But you got to understand, you would not be Scottie Pippen, I'm talking about, one of the 50 greatest players in the NBA if you weren't teamed up with Michael Jordan. It just wouldn't happen.
And they gave him 75. This is the same guy that put his foot up to the camera when Michael was playing baseball and lifted his shoe up and said, "Come on back, Michael, we need you."
I mean,
you're talking about that, Scottie Pippen?
This is personal. I mean, Jordan took the shot in The Last Dance. He never got over it. Then the wife and the son. I mean, it's just,
I think the wife and the
just too
son
much.
did him in.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it would do any of us in, by the way.
I agree.
It would do any of us in. Nobody is going to be above that.
If you guys don't know, Larsa Pippen, the former wife of Scottie
and
Pippen,
father of his kids,
is now dating
mother of his kids,
dating Michael Jordan's
son.
Yeah,
it's a really tough situation, man.
It was only a matter of time because when I'm watching The Last Dance, I mean, that was one of the highlights of COVID as it relates to a unifier.
Of course,
because we all were talking about the C word. Excuse me.
That's all we looked forward to.
Exactly.
Was that show.
Yeah, we looked that and the freaking Tiger King. I mean, between the two of those, I think it captivated us during the C word. But when I saw that meme, it was one meme above all, Ryan and Maz, that I saw that I said, this is not going to go over so well, because if it was me and I saw this meme, I would be pissed. It was one where Scottie was coming out. This is like when you come out the introduction, so it's like him high-fiving the teams, and it said, if For the Low was a person. When I saw that, I said, Sky's going to see this and going to break him down mentally. And lo and behold, he started getting snippy right after the Last Dance came out. That's when it started. And like you guys alluded to, once the Larsa Pippen thing happened with his son, it's been getting worse and worse.
Who shot that last shot that he sat on
Tony
the bench
Kukoc.
Kukoc.
Tony Kukoc.
Guys, one more NBA related topic I want to get to. Just your take on this referee situation, an investigation into one of the NBA referees, what led to this investigation, what you make of it in the video that has a lot of people concerned. We'll have that for you. But first, a message from Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness. Now, we all know Planet Fitness as your judgment-free zone where you can work out for just $10 a month.
Only $10?
Yes, only $10.
Wow.
But right now, Planet Fitness is thrilled to allow high schoolers ages 14 through 19 in the U.S. and Canada to work out for free all summer long, all the way up until August 31st. Teens can register right now and gain access to the club as soon as possible, with registration open all during the summer months, all the way up to, once again, August 31st. But that is not all, because Planet Fitness will be giving away over $200,000 to high schools and students. Teens ages 14 through 19 who register for the high school summer pass can help win a scholarship for their school and participate in a TikTok video contest for a chance to win academic scholarships. Visit the landing page for more information and, of course, legal disclosure at pfsummerpasscontest.com. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hour number 2 of the program, Woodward Sports. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com if you're watching live. If you can't watch live, you can download our podcast. Leave a 5-star review, available anywhere and everywhere you listen to your podcast.
I just remembered it's bowling night tonight.
It is bowling. I thought about you. I thought about you yesterday. Maz. I passed your bowling alley over there on Jefferson.
Little Harbor Lane.
Oh, love Harbor Lane.
Gotta love
I
Harbor.
thought about you and how much fun you have in there, and hopefully you get a couple of turkeys tonight.
I want 4 turkeys in a row.
Maybe a couple of 4-baggers. Maybe a couple of
4
4-baggers.
turkeys in a row get you 300.
Absolutely, no doubt. Guys, I'm having a
bad day.
I don't want to say difficult time deciphering this next story about this NBA official Eric Lewis. But he is being investigated by the NBA, and anytime you hear an NBA official being investigated by the NBA, you think automatically gambling or fixing games. Now, this from the NBA on ESPN, courtesy of the Stein line. Mark Stein, former ESPN
Is he
basketball
related to Rudy
reporter.
Stein from the
Maybe.
Bad News Bears?
Just saying that the NBA opened an investigation into longtime referee Eric Lewis involving a Twitter account that responded to numerous posts on league officiating and defended Lewis and other NBA officials. So it almost seems harmless enough. That is against league rules. That
It's
is
a burner
against,
account.
But come on. I did some stats or did some research earlier. 1 in 3 people on social media have a burner account.
Really?
1 in 3. And the reason they have it, number one, is to say what's on their mind
Do you
without.
have a burner account?
No, I don't. And that's
You're speaking from experience. It
I
sounds
do
like.
the
I don't
research for
either.
the job. So that basically means
Okay.
one of 3 of us.
Here's the 3 of us. I don't have a burner.
I don't
account.
either. I don't either. But
I don't
it
have a
says
burner
this. It was like
must be JB.
technewsworld.com is where I
Parker.
got this research from. 1 in 3 have a burner account, and the most common reason to have a burner account is to say what you really feel without being judged or consequences regarding that.
Right.
2 is to spy on somebody, like an ex or a girlfriend, boyfriend, somebody like that. So that is why that is really
I don't even know
why.
how to do a burner account.
Well, you just have a fake
Get a fake
email
email address, I
probably.
guess.
And Twitter,
Lucky I could type my name.
Twitter is the most common place to have a burner account because it's a lot easier to have a fake account. So you hear that. If that's what this guy's doing, that's not a big deal to me. But then you see this. Let me play this video for you,
We'll
okay?
show it a couple times.
And we will. And Tom, explain to people exactly kind of what you're going to see here.
I mean,
we don't need the voice. Let's bring the voice
Bring the
down.
voice down.
We don't need
that
the
last
volume.
quarter, forced him into 3 turnovers. What was the strategy?
I guess we could.
All right, that's fine.
Now take a look at the ref in the back now.
Oh my God!
All right.
They make the layup.
Here we go.
Now watch him in the background. Watch his face. He's looking. Don't go in. Don't go in. It's in.
Got that money.
Oh.
'Cause now he knows he's got to. Now he knows.
Now he either had the under,
Right.
and that hit the over, or he had Jimmy Butler at a certain amount of points.
Yeah.
I would like to figure out what that game, what the line on that game was, what the over-under on that game was, and when that basket
Occurred.
happened.
Yeah.
When that occurred. I'd like to take a look at that.
The interesting thing, and I'm obviously playing and having so much fun. Put that back on the board for me real quick, JB, when you get a chance. Put the picture, just the picture of the referee. When you first put the picture up there, he just looks guilty. And I hate saying guilty because they're so good at getting the right picture, the right angle. You see the right video, although he told us he just looks like, oh, shoot. I'm gonna have to pull a move to get what I need or to make them happy. He just looks kind of guilty, but yeah, you can't have that type of reaction in an NBA game, especially as the referee. They don't even like analysts to get that excited about one particular team over the other. To have that type of reaction, you're like, oh, damn.
It can't happen again.
No, it can't.
It cannot happen in this league.
No, it can't. Especially now with sports betting and just the insinuation. Yeah.
And they really need to come out fast on this investigation because you cannot be speculating. You cannot have an entire fan base for a sport speculating on what is going on with the officials here in the NBA. I mean, the Tim Donaghy untold stories, or what's that documentary on Netflix?
Yeah,
Untold, the real story of Tim Donaghy and some of the accusations he was making about the NBA.
He's the Jose Canseco of sports referees.
Right. And one of the things he was talking about is, well, Braylon, I'm sorry to cut you off there, is much like players talk to other players in other sports, referees talk to other referees in other sports as well.
100%.
So this is a really big problem that I think professional sports faces when there are questionable calls. I go back to that Seattle LA Rams final week of the regular season game. You can't tell me that was refereed properly. You can't tell me that somebody didn't have money on that game. I will not accept it.
That Giants Washington game was the worst.
Yeah,
the worst. That was a Sunday night game.
Well, I watched it in New York. It was fun. I was in New York watching the game when it happened, where I was at some Irish pub in Times Square. But just with the Tim Donaghy thing, going back to Untold Story, the funny and crazy thing about all that is after all of that, and what Tim Donaghy talks about, we both watched, all of us have watched it. He gets all the way to the end, and what does he finish with, Matt? But I still don't think that we influenced any games. I think they happened like that naturally. It was just good refereeing. Still lives in the land of delusion, doesn't want to admit what he did. That's crazy.
Hey, man, referees, they control it all. My dad, Sammy Maz, has been telling me that since way back when. And Buddha reminded me of this in the chat. Eric, is Lewis, is that his name?
Yes.
His family are known Celtic people, Boston Celtic referees. So I just want to throw that out at you. And that was against the Celtics. I don't know what he did, what he bet on. Maybe he bet the Celtics that night. I have no idea. But he bet.
Probably bet through some people.
He's been an NBA official for 19 seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like there's some rookie out there either.
Yeah,
it's
a lot of times you see in those movies, though. You get to the end, you start to look. That pension don't look as good.
Parachute.
It's like the 401k is not coming as much as you thought.
A little bit of a parachute.
Exactly, man. You need a little relief fund.
Oh,
try to set itself up a little island fund. I'm just saying, man. I watch a lot of movies.
What is the best fit for DeAndre Hopkins? Shannon Sharp thinks he has the answer to that. We'll get to it next. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk into any Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one but two vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, your best bud. Lady Jane's. It's open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Welcome back, Woodward Sports. Maz, how's your seedless watermelon that you got over the weekend? I just wanted to ask you about that.
First of all,
sounds like a hoax.
Nobody in this world loves watermelon as much as I do. So I grab a watermelon.
My stepdad and my sister.
Lydia, man.
Well,
I know.
I'm telling you, man. I could do a whole thing, and then I'm going to the bathroom all night long. But I can do it.
My stepdad, if you eat his watermelon, like I ate a piece of a slither, and he gave me a dirty look. I'm just saying.
Lydia, my little Lydia might fight you.
All right, but I buy a seedless watermelon. The sticker's on it, seedless. I take the sucker home, put it in the fridge, get it nice and cold. I cut it, The son of a gun is full of seeds.
Can I ask a dumb question?
Yeah. I don't know how they get it seedless. Don't ask me.
Okay, I'm not so much how they get
organic,
it.
I tell you that.
How they get it seedless. But is the watermelon with seeds that much sweeter and that much better than seedless watermelon? Because I have no idea why anybody would choose to buy a seeded watermelon as opposed to seedless, unless the taste is just head over heels better.
It's like going to KFC versus your mother cooking chicken. Like, I know where this chicken comes from.
Mm-hmm.
I know where this chicken is coming from.
You like seeds?
Yes, because it's organic, it's natural. It comes from regular. Like that infused stuff.
You don't eat the seeds though.
But it doesn't. They come in there. You're missing what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The fact that they come with seeds. This is natural watermelon. This is from the earth. That injected stuff that they create to come up with organic, I don't trust it.
How do you know it's injected?
Because it's seedless.
It's got to be injected.
It's just like
give me. Keep injecting it.
It's just like what type of dog you want, and I'll take a little bit of this, a little bit of this. I mix it together. Here's your Pomeranian.
I'm going to get another watermelon tonight. I'm testing
It better
this
be
sucker
seedless.
out. Seedless.
That's great.
Who the hell would take a seedless?
Oh man.
What's up, Braylon?
Guys, let's talk some Lions now. I want to play this for you. It's an interesting take. DeAndre Hopkins, the market is starting to heat up for DeAndre Hopkins and his services. Very sought after. Money doesn't seem like it's going to be that much of an issue. Now, DeAndre Hopkins did hire an agent today. Yeah. He was representing himself. His agent is the same agent that represents a bunch of NFC East players. Chase Young of Washington, Kayvon Thibodeau of the Giants, and Devontae Smith of the Philadelphia Eagles.
What's he staying on the NFC East?
Yeah, I know,
well, I mean, what does that mean for you? But here's what Shannon Sharp said on Skip and Shannon about where he thinks the best place to be for DeAndre Hopkins would be.
I know a team that got a pretty good offense that played really well last year. They got $24 million under the cap, and that's the Detroit Lions. And plus, Jameson Williams going to miss the first 6 games of the season. Good point. So it seems like that's the natural fit. So I think the Lions, although, look, we know Buffalo, but they just don't have the money. And plus, Kansas City's trying to do something with my own boy. I don't see one of those teams making it happen. I'm thinking Detroit seems to me the most logical spot.
How about that? On a courtesy Downtown Deuce on Twitter for that video. How about that? Yeah. Shannon Sharp talking about the Detroit Lions being the most logical fit for DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about a team in which everyone is talking about, whether it's Fox, whether it's us, whether it's ESPN, everyone is talking about the Detroit Lions in some capacity, whether they have the 7th best odds to win it all, whether they have the best odds in the NFC North to win the NFC North, whether they finished 9-8 last year, whether they beat Aaron Rodgers in his last game at Green Bay. Everyone is talking about the Lions to some extent. So that means now they're in your mind, which means you do your homework on them. And you're looking at a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, who is a major receiver. 9 games last year. He got 787 yards, 3 touchdowns. He is a guy that, man, has missed a lot of time, which has kept him healthy. When he was playing before that, he was mentioned with the elitist of the elite in the NFL, wide receivers. Jameson Williams going to miss 6 games. Shannon's been on championship-winning teams. He understands how fresh it is, how good it is to come out fresh, start the season at the right time. I mean, at the right tune, to the right pace. You get DeAndre Hopkins in here, help out Jared Goff, help out this offense. We keep going back to that Chiefs game. You don't want to start off in a rut, and that Chiefs game can be that rut if you get blown out. You got a guy like DeAndre Hopkins out there that can make those plays down the field. Hell, I still think about that Hail Mary that he caught against the Buffalo Bills and the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, that was amazing.
Think about that play. You're talking about bringing that guy here. That really, really, really is going to give you a chance to be elite and succeed. And when Jameson Williams comes back, oh, my God.
Hey, listen, guys, he kind of – I don't know if he tried to fool people, but he used his Instagram over the weekend, and let's put it up. And he circles the New York Jets logo on the bottom line here. I want you to look at that. You see that? He circles the New York Jets logo. I don't know why he did that, but he did.
That is definitely one of the teams that's rumored to be in the mix on him. And, Buffalo and Kansas City.
It looks good.
It's being reported.
And you said the Eagles.
It's an arms race. I thought the Eagles. If you're trying to win I think going to the NFC is the easiest way to win. What do you want to do?
Staying in the NFC.
Staying in the NFC for him, and going to 1, 2, or 3 teams. Really, it's Philadelphia. To me, I think Dallas is a really good spot for him to be, and I think the Detroit Lions.
The Giants are a great spot for him.
Yeah, but they don't really have a quarterback.
It's Daniel Jones quarterbacking now.
Well, I don't know how much money they have either.
But if you're DeAndre Hopkins, man, you got to look at it from this point. The best quarterback he's played with so far is Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson had some good times, but he had some terrible team because of how they ran the team out there in Houston. Then he goes out to Arizona, and we know how that deal was with Kyler Murray. He's looking to be meticulous about his spacing with the quarterback. And what better spot than either one, go to Kansas City, 2, go to the New York Jets, who now have Aaron Rodgers, and they don't have a second tier or a second compliment to what Garrett Wilson's going to be. Garrett Wilson, it's his team now, and I'm pretty much sure DeAndre Hopkins doesn't mind that. And or the Detroit Lions for how they can start the season with him and then implement him when Jameson Williams comes back. That's a hell of a 3-headed monster when you look at D-Hop, Jameson Williams, and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Now, if you look into this, Albert Breer tweeted out, courtesy of our friend Dove. He says there's NFL executives out there saying D-Hop has lost his fastball. He can't get past you. He can't separate anymore. Braylon, I'm putting it on you here.
100%. But here's the thing about DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins never was a burner. DeAndre Hopkins was never blown by guys down the field. You saw whenever you see D-Hop make a play, either one, he created the separation with a crisp route. He ran a great route, got in and out of his break, and or he's catching 50-50 passes. He's catching a contested pass. I mean, my biggest memory, I just told you, was a Hail Mary. It's a contested pass. So him not being able to burn by guys, that won't affect a guy like DeAndre Hopkins. Not to mention, you're not looking for him to be the number one anymore. This is a situation similar to what A.J. Green was to DeAndre Hopkins. A.J. Green was a guy that used to be one of the elitist of the elite, but now understands he's not necessarily a guy anymore. That's cool. I don't mind playing 2 to DeAndre Hopkins. Now DeAndre Hopkins in that situation will shoot. I'll grow Jameson Williams along and then become number 2. Sure, I don't need $30 million a year. I'll be appreciative making whatever it is and being in a winning situation. Because now for a guy like DeAndre Hopkins that's made money, that has what he needs money-wise, he wants to win a championship. He needs that attached to his name.
And Rye, you said it the other day. His drop rate is
1%, best in the league.
The best by
in the
far.
league. I would be shocked if DeAndre Hopkins came to play for the Detroit Lions. 1, I'd be shocked if he came to Detroit, and number 2, it just doesn't feel like a Brad Holmes thing to do.
No, it doesn't.
It's just not. It's just out of character.
I'd be happy though.
I absolutely. It's just not characteristic of Brad Holmes to do that. I'll give you a dark horse. You want a dark horse? You ready? Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins were great together. Not good together.
Right.
They were great together. DeAndre Hopkins played 3 seasons with Deshaun Watson, 3 straight years, 100 catches or more. DeAndre Hopkins has played 7 seasons with a quarterback not named Deshaun Watson. He has caught over 100 passes once.
Yeah.
Cleveland looks like they could. I mean, they've got Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Elijah Moore.
That's pretty good.
It's good, but you need a combination. You just can't have 3.
But I think you're asking. But see, I think you're asking the wrong question. I think you're asking what sounds good versus what DeAndre Hopkins would want to do. I don't see, just like the Lions, you don't see DeAndre Hopkins coming to Detroit. Doesn't see him a fit here. Doesn't see like a move Brad Holmes will make. Agree with you 100%. Cleveland ain't a place that DeAndre Hopkins is trying to go to. Like, you're not going to go to Cleveland. They were so iffy last year. You're looking at a situation where I'm left Houston, I left Arizona. I'm trying to go win, but I'm also trying to go somewhere fun, somewhere decent. And I don't think Cleveland fits into that part of the puzzle. No.
Yeah, so where would you say he ends up today?
It's got to be the Chiefs, or it's got to be
the Bills.
Who's got the most money besides the Lions?
Those are the 2 teams that's being reported. Like, it's just an arms race between the Chiefs and the Bills right now. How about this? Chiefs, Bills, or the field?
Chiefs, Bills. Chiefs, Bills.
Maz?
Yeah, I think I'd take the same
Chiefs,
thing.
Bills.
I think I would.
I'm going to go to the field.
Okay.
I'm going to go to the field.
That might be a good bet.
Because I can't agree with you guys.
True. I don't want you to agree. You're gonna bring bad juju. Stay over there. But it's some places out there. But for every place out there that's not Buffalo and the Chiefs, you look at, oh man, Cowboys. What about the Cowboys situation? Well, they just brought in Brandon Cooks. What does that mean? How they want to use that situation?
Right.
So there are things there. The Chiefs have money. So do the Bills, and the Bills need it. The Bills need it. That's the thing. The Chiefs don't necessarily need it, but it will help them. It will help Patrick Mahomes' job be a lot easier. The Bills need it because that offense that we watched in the playoffs last year, Maz and Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, it was horrible. When Stephon Diggs was covered or his ankle injury, he didn't know where. Josh Allen didn't know where to go with the ball. Knox was nowhere to be found.
No running game.
Gabe Davis, and they had no running game. You put D-Hop out there. Now you got D-Hop and Stephon Diggs. They need him the most. I think the Chiefs is the easiest fit.
Guys, 100 days until Lions and Chiefs.
Yeah. You believe that?
I cannot.
That's
it feels
3
so
months
great.
and a week.
Feels so great. 100 days until the NFL season kicks off. 2023 season with the Lions and the Chiefs.
It just doesn't even look real.
What are some of the great storylines that we are looking for this NFL season? We have some regarding the Detroit Lions. We'll get to that next, but first a message from Big Boy.
Yes, sir, Big Boy. Let's go, man. It's Strawberry Fest. Get there before it goes away right now. Get on down there and start with that breakfast. How about it? The strawberry hot cakes or the mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Or if you're not feeling breakfast, have a little lunch or a little snack. The strawberry bacon chicken wrap might be for you, or the refreshing summer splash salad and dessert. That's the specialty of the house, the classic strawberry pie, the deep fried vanilla Oreos, and a lot more, including the strawberry hot fudge cake. All that and more. Of course, you can get a Big Boy at Big Boy.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
100 days away from Lions and Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City for the opening of the 2023 NFL season, and there are 100 storylines to keep an eye on. Matt, just
our friend Cody Benjamin of CBS did
that's
that.
right. CBS Sports, 100 things to know with 100 days until week 1 of the NFL season. And there are 7 of these storylines that involve your Detroit Lions.
I love it.
So I thought we could go through some of these.
Okay.
And the ones that involve the Lions, go around the room and talk about each one. How's that sound, fellas?
Sounds great.
Does that sound good to you?
100 days. Think about it. When the Super Bowl ended, we were like, oh my God, we got to wait all this time.
Feels like forever.
For the draft. And how quick did the draft hit us?
But you also do understand that time from the end of Super Bowl to getting to the draft, to getting through the end of the trade deadline, all that stuff, and then the NBA Finals, like it still gives us kind of distractions.
Yeah, I know.
Now we're gonna feel it.
It's baseball.
Like 100%. Oh my God.
Another 2 weeks.
June and July.
Hey,
get
Tigers
tough.
are playing great.
Hey, man. We'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes, too. All right, guys, here we go. Storyline number 1 regarding the Detroit Lions. The Lions are a preseason darling after winning 8 of their final 10 games in 2022. Their season opening matchup with the Chiefs is just one of 4 primetime games on their 2023 slate, not including a Thanksgiving Day matchup with the Packers. 5 primetime games, Braylon, for this Lions football team.
As I stated, just one of the situations when you win, when you show that you can be consistent, when you show that you have a GM that is comparable, when you have a coach that is competent, when you have players that play hard, people start to trust you. They start seeing they want to show you off, and that's what the analysts want to do, and that's what the NFL wants to do. They trust the Detroit Lions, much like Dan Campbell said. They trust them just to at least maybe not get blown out and be respectful. But I think more than that, I think people are scared of the Detroit Lions.
I think they were the darling last year. Everyone wanted them to make the playoffs. You got guys like Lou Riddick jumping all over them and pushing them out into the forefront. Dan Orlovsky as well. Man, what they did last year was special, and it looks just like they're getting better. Look what they did with the draft. There might be a couple of naysayers, but for the most part, I think they nailed their draft. They got 3 starters on top of that team from last year. I think nothing but sky's the limit here, and I can't wait, man.
Yeah, you're right, man. I'm going to piggyback on something you just said in the first part. Last year, before the season started, there were some people talking about the Lions 3-13-1, but there were some positive individuals. Dan was one of those guys. Marcus Spears said a thing or two. But once the season started and you saw that Lions offense in Game 1 against the Philadelphia Eagles, Game 2 against the Seattle Seahawks, Dan Orlovsky gave a lot of love to Jared Goff, to the Detroit Lions offense, to Ben Johnson and what they were doing. And then Marcus Spears gave a lot of credit to Aiden Hutchinson. And they wanted them to hang on. And once the Lions started that 8-2 run in the last 10 games, they were excited that they hung on. And then that's when you started to see the backing really from Dan, Lewis Riddick, and Marcus Spears.
By the way, it's Kristen Harper's birthday today. Jared Goff's lovely girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that picture that
Very
he put
good.
out with
Very
him
good.
hugging her?
I did not, Maz, but I'm sure you saw it a couple times.
I sure did.
Real good.
Hey, that's our quarterback.
That's right. That is our quarterback.
That photo shoot at the beach.
I want to ask you if you surveyed NFL fans and you weren't able to say your own team, who do you think NFL fans collectively would say, I want to watch in prime time? You can't, obviously the Chiefs, obviously the Jets, I think in 2023, and outside of those two teams, who do you think NFL fans not being able to say their own team? The Eagles?
Yeah.
Eagles.
Okay. Cowboys always.
Cowboys always.
Yeah.
Okay.
But other than that, like you said, I mean,
I think we're top 5.
Yeah.
Because Minnesota, you don't want to see Minnesota. You want to see Justin Jefferson. Maybe the Dolphins. Maybe Tyreek Hill.
I don't know.
Tyreek Hill.
I just feel like they're a bit of a darling.
They know it ain't the Patriots.
Guys, next storyline here, as put out by CBS Sports. Detroit hasn't made the playoffs in 7 years or won a playoff game since 91, but the Lions are the odds-on favorite to win the NFC North per Caesars Sportsbook, something they haven't done in 30 years. Wouldn't it be a major disappointment if they didn't? To me, I've said it before, you'll get sick and tired of me saying it again. I believe that is the floor for this year, is a home playoff game and a division championship.
Yeah, you're 100% right. In terms of making the playoff, I think the ceiling is the playoff as it relates to winning the division. Look, I picked them to win the division, but if they didn't win the division but they still got in the playoff, I think that is the ceiling for me. But once again, I can also see the other side. It can be very easy for them not to make the playoffs. You look at how the season starts. How do you get off on the right foot or the wrong foot against the Kansas City Chiefs, the returning Super Bowl champs, and then you come right back against Seattle Seahawks. So if they can't get out to a fast start, I mean, it's a very real thing that you could be in danger. But with that being said, I got them winning the NFC North. So don't forget that.
I hope my 2 favorite words comes true this year. Vegas knows. 9.5, so I'll say at least 10 wins. I'm not going to go backwards this time. I think sometimes they miss, right? Maybe they get 11, 12, or 13, as you might think.
Yeah.
It's their time. It's time for the Lions. Next year is the draft here in Detroit. You're going to get maybe a new uniform, a tweak of a helmet, whatever it takes. It's Detroit Lions time. It's about time that you come out of the Barry Sanders shadows, out of the Calvin Johnson, Matthew Stafford little shadow that they left. And here we are now. The sky's the limit again, I'm going to say.
Yeah, you know what, man? It's like I'm agree with you on that, and I'm gonna just agree with what you see. It's before when the Lions have had some good teams. You look at that 2013 team, the 14 team. You look at the random playoffs in 17, how they start off one with, how they finish strong, etc. You look at those teams. The national pundits, the national media, the NFL itself, nobody got around those teams with Calvin Johnson. I mean, Calvin Johnson at the time was arguably the best receiver in the NFL. In fact, it may not even be able to be argued except for maybe AB. They didn't care about Calvin being that good. They didn't care about Matt Stafford and 5,000 yards. They didn't care about Nick Fairley and Ziggy Ansah and DeAndre Levy having 7 interceptions or 8 or whatever the hell it was. They never bought in. Same old Lions. But now it's different. Everyone is buying their hell. Barry Sanders talks about the monster, like you said, that Dan Campbell is creating. Hell, I have lived here for 40 years. I have bought into the Detroit Lions. So everyone gets it. It's different this time. That's the other thing I'm paying attention to. Everybody can't be wrong.
The surge in popularity stems not just from their late push in 2022, but a busy offseason that saw them add Jahmyr Gibbs and a slew of new defensive backs. Veteran quarterback Jared Goff, Maz's guy, is also coming off a productive year, feeding a wide receiver core headlined by Amon-Ra St. Brown. How good can Amon-Ra St. Brown be?
Maz, I'll let you take that. I'll take the defense.
Well, we all think, here in Detroit at least, or in the chat, we think he's a top 10 receiver.
At least a top 12 to 14 guy.
For sure.
For sure.
The guy he doesn't drop passes. D-Hop was 1%, right? Did you say?
1%, he was 1.1.
Yeah, St. Brown's right there on his tail. Can you imagine those two together, by the way? Sidebar.
Yeah.
This kid is a winner. You saw him on draft. After he got drafted, you saw him rattle off all the teams and all the names of the receivers picked ahead of him. You see his dad, Mr. Universe.
Yeah.
Come on, man. This guy's not going to be stopped. He's only going up.
Yeah, 100%. And you're talking about the secondary side of things. Brian Branch was the best secondary overall player in this draft. A steal in the third round, a complete steal in getting Brian Branch. And then you go pick up my favorite Detroit Lion now, Cam Sutton. After we interview him, he's become my favorite player in terms of what he means to the team, in terms of his decision to come here, how excited he is, in terms of his leadership. Like, that guy is going to be special here. And then your favorite player, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And that was the player that you wanted out of the free agency pool. Maz, you got your guy, and so did the Detroit Lions. And I'm just excited.
They got a steal.
The best thing watching players that have come here to Detroit, everyone is excited to be in Detroit. People chose to come to Detroit and further their careers. People chose to take the deals in Detroit. People chose, as soon as they got here, to be excited and talk about what they were willing to do. Remember David Montgomery, what he said? I don't care if I'm passing out water, whatever, playing second fiddle, doing whatever. I'm ready to win. That's been everybody's attitude, man. It's going to be a good year.
I can get to the rest of these on the other side. It is regarding the NFC North Division with Minnesota and Green Bay as well. We'll get to those topics next. But I think for all of us here, guys, the Detroit Lions are here.
Yep. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
And everybody else is below that.
I think they've arrived.
No doubt. Guys, let's take a break. Let me tell you about Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts. Have been for over 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
All right, guys, we are 100 days from the NFL season. CBSSports.com put together 100 storylines.
Are we 100 likes in yet?
No, we need 6 more likes,
come
actually.
on,
hit the like button for us. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button for us.
Did you hit like?
I did not hit like.
That's the first thing I do.
I know. I've been asking people to like it. I have not liked the show. I'm so sorry about that. Let's see,
okay, brother.
Now we're at 95 likes.
Let me get on. Let me get on your like.
Right.
Oh, so that's likes, right?
I gotta tell. I do gotta tell. Sometimes I'm just concerned about driving the show.
Right.
And I do apologize. I do try to glance at the chat. Maz is really good at the chat. Kind of being involved in there. I try to just
do a great job.
I try to just do the best I can.
It's so good.
You know, I'm thinking about what's next.
Phenomenal.
What's all this different stuff. I got a million things in my head.
You got it going.
Million things.
All right.
Just doing the best I can over here. We got last ninjas in gymnastics class tonight. Last one.
Big boy when you're done?
Oh, man. Nope. McDonald's when we do Happy Meals, chicken tenders, and fries.
Okay, what do you get?
I don't get anything. I eat before I go. A little sandwich or something.
You get
Tuesday night dinners for me are not good.
I know, but you
I do not get any McDonald's.
You get some fries.
I don't. I really
you gotta
don't.
Stay on top of things.
I mean,
you eat some of the kids' fries before you get.
I do not.
Okay.
I gotta be healthy. I mean, I look like a friggin' blimp on TV.
You don't.
You look great.
No, I know. I feel good. I just look like a blimp on
I hope
TV.
they got some good food downtown.
Do not.
Yeah. Well, thanks, man. I'm so close to the camera. That's why I'm the closest one to the camera.
That's
the
awesome.
guy that's the closest one to the camera is always the fattest one. It's terrible.
Where'd you learn that?
Huh?
Where'd you learn that?
Oh God, it's just physics.
It's physics.
Oh,
What's the camera at?
The depth perception of the
Camera adds like 30 pounds to me, right?
I mean, no. I mean, legitimately, depending upon what type of camera you have. HD was the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Oh, Jesus.
Worst thing that ever happened.
You need the black and
what
white
about the
TV.
makeup on HD? Is better though, correct?
Well, yeah, you just don't see gloss, but it still doesn't thin you down.
So if you're ugly, you're ugly.
Yeah, it can't help you. Guys,
I got no hope.
100 days of the NFL season. And going around some storylines, CBSSports.com put it out. We hit on the Lions storylines in the last topic. I think these are still Lions related because it involves the NFC North. I wanted to ask you about the Minnesota Vikings. They went 13-4 under new coach Kevin O'Connell in 2022, only to lose their first playoff game to the Giants. But unlike the Lions, Minnesota spent most of the offseason shedding veteran salaries rather than accumulating them. The biggest names to exit in the name of the salary cap: Adam Thielen, Eric Kendricks, and Zadarius Smith.
Ooh, Zadarius.
Who will be the biggest loss off of that team?
I think it's Kendricks because Zadarius Smith was an addition last year from Green Bay, which I was surprised Green Bay got rid of him. And then you send him to the Minnesota Vikings and said, man, he's going to be right next to Kendricks. They're going to have a good defense over there. Harrison Smith, getting a little long in the tooth, but still a pretty good safety in the NFL. Zadarius Smith did not ever really catch on, didn't have the season they thought he would. And not only did they get rid of Zadarius Smith, they got rid of Kendricks too. Adam Thielen, you want to talk about a guy that's not as fast as he used to be. Adam Thielen is a guy that's starting to look a little longer in the tooth, making it a little harder for him to get open, get off press coverage. I would know because I had him in fantasy last year. Didn't big whoop that guy did me.
He was hurt.
So you said what?
He was hurt.
Yeah, and he hurt my draft in my fantasy.
Oh.
But so looking at that team, that's a real thing. That's everybody is not glossing, but they're looking at that could be huge for them. That defense, especially going up against some offenses in this division that can play. But the other side of things is, are we really just looking over 13-4? Like, because you're quick to say
yes,
because you're quick to say,
it feels like a bit of a fugazi. It feels like a fugazi 13-4.
I understand that, but 11-0 in a 13-4 season, like, it can't all be fugazi. Like, are we not giving Kevin O'Connell just a little bit of credit for what he was able to do year one?
You have to. You're an idiot not to.
For sure.
I just think it's impossible to replicate unless if the Minnesota Vikings had Patrick Mahomes, I would be like, okay, you'll win all 11 of those one-score games again. Yeah,
but it's Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I just think that's the case.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, Maz and I always we rocked with the Vikings, but you're absolutely right. When it comes down to crunch time, their quarterback is who he is.
Speaking of their quarterback, the Vikings still possess arguably the most explosive pass catcher in the NFL in Justin Jefferson, racked up 4,800 plus in his first two seasons. Their quarterback, Kirk Cousins, has a much cloudier long-term future in town, entering a contract year. Cousins has been productive and durable, 5 years in purple. He has led just a single postseason win the Minnesota Vikings to a single postseason win.
But he can get him there, though.
And that was a bad Saints team and an injured Drew Brees. So
the quarterback.
I think you guys sell him short. I do.
No, Maz, hold on. You can't say you guys because every time you pick the Vikings, who picks the Vikings right behind you?
You
Don't
do.
always show love to Kirk Cousins. I just think when it gets to the crunch time, we have to agree with Maz. I mean, with Ryan, we got to agree with what we see. Like, in terms of a regular season game, anything before 8 o'clock, Kirk Cousins is he's a guy. He had 5,000 yards with the Redskins at the time. He's had big years with the Vikings. Like, he's always going to get his numbers. He's going to be a good quarterback for the first quarter through some of the fourth. But when it's crunch time or when it's prime time, he's a guy that disappears. That's the only thing I would say.
I just think he made $40 million before any other quarterback started making $40 million.
And has nothing to show for it.
They must have seen something in him. And you know what? He is one of the league leaders in fourth quarter comebacks. I will say that.
Yeah.
You can look that
So
up.
was Matthew Stafford for a long time.
Okay, I love Matthew Stafford.
No, but I'm talking about pre-Rams. He always had that statistic.
He always had that stat. It was like
and how many playoff
him and
wins
Eli.
and everything
so
like that.
does Matt Ryan. So does another. Matt Ryan has that. What's his name? Flacco had some of that.
Yeah. Speaking of quarterback pressure, Jordan Love taking over the Packers signal caller after 3 years behind Aaron Rodgers. The latter pondered retirement before facilitating a trade to the Jets, ending a historic 18-year run with Green Bay. Now it's up to Love, 24 years old, first-round pick in 2020 to shepherd in the next chapter at Lambeau. I don't see it. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
Who is there was a player, I forget.
You talked about Jordan Love?
No, it's just
transition.
I saw Jordan Love play. He just don't have it.
So you're trying to compare him to somebody.
I'm trying to compare him to somebody that
Jacoby Brissett?
No, you hear all this great things about, and then you see him play, and you're like, this guy sucks. You know what I mean? And he just never panned out. He feels like, to me, a player that is gonna suck.
R.J. Barrett was like that for a very long time. R.J. Barrett with the Knicks, like everybody talked about actually taking him over Zion. It was like, I think he'll have a better career in the NBA, and it took him a long time. But with Jordan Love, he's in a bad spot. Like, he is in a horrible spot for success because their offensive line isn't particularly the best. You're talking about a team, a franchise that has gone from the last 28 years, I believe. They've had Brett Favre, two Super Bowl appearances, just all the cachet, all the primetime moments that Brett Favre provided, whether it was his father passing away and playing against the Raiders, whether it was just Brett Favre being Brett Favre, and then you go to Aaron Rodgers, another Super Bowl, but another perennial team for the better part of 17 years, and then you drop it in Jordan Love's lap. Jordan Love's lap, who I've seen have one good game, and I think it was against Michigan State, so many years ago. That's the only game I've ever seen him have that was a good game. In East Lansing, he looked damn good. But other than that, man, it's just going to be a tough road. And, once he throws the first pick, once he holds the ball too long the first time and takes a sack, that Green Bay fan base is going to finally understand number 12 ain't there to save you no more. Number 4 isn't there to save you anymore. It's going to be a hard road for Jordan Love, and I wish him success, just not against the Lions.
I think Matt LaFleur will set up the offense perfectly for this guy. He's got 2 terrific running backs.
He does.
He got some good young receivers, nothing really proven yet. He's going to have a new tight end. They drafted well, and they have a terrific defense still. Yeah, they got rid of some players, but they were one of the league leaders in defense. I wouldn't count out the pack yet. And plus, they got 6. I count them 6 primetime games. 6.
I just don't get that.
You're right, man. It's the Packers. It's certain logos, like the Bears. The Bears have sucked for the better part of the last. Since they got Khalil Mack, and it didn't even work then. They've sucked, but you're gonna see the Bears on prime time because of the logo, because of the cachet. But just going back to the Packers for a second. They do have a lot of young wide receivers, and that's the problem. They got a young quarterback They got a young quarterback doesn't know what he's supposed to be doing. The veteran wideouts are gone. There is no Alan Lazard there that has been there for 4 or 5 years that can kind of help you get things under control, help you from the wide receiver's point of view. There is no Randall Cobb. That's the old man veteran that won a Super Bowl that understands how to be that guy for you to help your transition. You got guys that are year 1, 2, year 3, yourself. It's going to be a very, very interesting road, man. It's going to be a very interesting road.
No doubt.
Mercedes Lewis.
Speaking of an interesting road, I do believe we should touch on the Tigers. for a couple of minutes. We'll do that next.
Got some bad news here in the last break.
Oh, you did? Uh-oh. We'll get to that next. But first, a message from Randy Wise.
All right, let's get you to Randy Wise, right? Here we go. What could be better than watching your favorite athletes and celebrities like Braylon and D-Mac play golf? I'll tell you what. Playing golf yourself and being treated like a celebrity. That's what. Stop in any Randy Wise dealership for your chance to play like a celebrity. VIP transportation, free golf to one of Michigan's best tracks, and a tasty steak after compliments of Fairway Packing. Make the wise decision. Get to Randy Wise today for your chance to win.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
All right, Tigers and Rangers tonight from down at Comerica Park. Maz, you said you had something?
Unfortunately, Eduardo Rodriguez, he has not pitched good the last two games. And now he's going on the 15-day disabled list with a finger injury, retroactive to May 29th. Do the math. Matt Vierling goes on the 10-day list, lower back soreness. That goes back to the 29th. So they recall the pitcher, right-hand pitcher, Brandon Bristow, and infielder Tyler Nevin from AAA Toledo as they get ready to play game 2 against one of the better teams in the league, the Texas Rangers.
Okay. We jinxed them. All this shit, we get rid of Ricardo or sell him or buyers and sellers. The man got hurt. It's our fault.
That's all right. No.
We bought him some bad.
It happens throughout 162 baseball season. So the Tigers got to within one game of 500 yesterday. They lost, and now they're 2 back. Yeah. But I always thought to myself, every time the Tigers get to 2 games under 500, I feel like they lose that game.
Yeah.
And then they go 3 games under 500. And I forgot, I heard the stat on the television. Apparently, it was the 7th game the Tigers played 2 games under 500 before they won.
Really?
All 6 games prior to that, they lost.
Wow.
Jeez.
So that was 2 games ago, and they'll play their 8th game.
Try it again now.
They'll play their 8th game, 2 games under 500.
They're 25 and 27, 2 games back of the Twins. Twins won in extra innings yesterday against the Astros. Otherwise, it'd still be a game.
Alex Faedo tonight for the Rangers.
When you asked that question, you said, what month did you give it when you said, what will the Tigers' record be after? Was it after May?
July 31st.
Oh, you said after July 31st? Okay.
Yeah, at the trade deadline,
That's
essentially.
why I said 0?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The division's terrible. I mean, the division is not good. This is exactly what we need. Yeah, I'll tell you this much. The Tigers, where was I on, what day is today? Tuesday?
Fairway Packing.
Sunday night, I was talking to a couple of friends of mine. We were going through the Minnesota Twins schedule to see when the Tigers played the Twins.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tigers. Thank you. That was fun. Looking to see when the Tigers and Twins play a series at Comerica Park, because we're going to see if we're going to get tickets. If the Tigers don't have this, we don't care.
Correct.
When they're going to play at the Twins. That was about a 20-minute conversation. We were looking at the schedules. We were looking at who's coming up for the Twins, who the Tigers have coming up. And it was fun to talk baseball. It was fun to look ahead. And I want to thank the Tigers for that.
Me
It
too.
sounds so simple and so dumb, but this is the closest the Tigers have been.
Thank you, Tigers.
To the first place in their division this late in the season. Now I know there's over 100 games to go.
No, that's a fact.
Since 2014.
Let me know. I'm trying to go to the park, man.
Let's go, baby. Let's go check it out. It's mid to late June when they play.
That's fine.
Mid to late June. I think
June
20. I think they play at Minnesota and then they come back here end of June.
Listen, they got the Rangers 2 more days. They got tonight and then
just
tomorrow
trying to win
afternoon.
one with these guys.
That's a tough series.
You're just trying to win
then
one with
you're
these guys.
at Chicago at the White Sox.
Yeah.
You could pound the White Sox now. I mean, they are down and out. I don't know what the hell happened to them. But now's the time. They got to beat the bad teams. The worse teams than them, they got to beat. And these teams, you got to win a game or two from. These good teams.
I don't know how many tennis fans we got in here, man. I don't know how many crazy diehard tennis fans we got. But if you're watching the French Open, Medvedev was number 2 seed by the men's, was out. I think he's the best tennis
man.
Wow, already?
First round.
And no Rafael Nadal.
No, and I think Medvedev is the best player in the world right now. And he
owns
maybe
the French Open.
Because he's out of there first round.
Is Djokovic allowed?
I don't know if he's allowed in France.
I don't know if he's allowed in France. He's allowed here now, but I don't know if he's allowed in France.
By the way, I saw something. I don't know the girl's name. She's a tennis star. She won at Wimbledon a few years ago.
Naomi Osaka?
No.
Serena Williams.
She's quit tennis and is now doing an OnlyFans page.
The Spanish chick?
Really?
Yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Good for her.
She's doing it. She's a Russian.
Real good for her.
She's Russian.
All the good
So if you want
golfers
to dig into tennis and look for tennis girl OnlyFans, that's up to you if you'd like to or not. Indy 500 was won by
I like that transition,
Roger
by the way.
Penske. Roger Penske won. No, his team won. Joseph Newgarden?
Joseph Newgarden.
Newgarden. He won at Indy. My sister was there. She doesn't even know what a car looks like.
See that
but
tire?
But her husband went and
No, I didn't see it.
The car hit a car in the parking lot.
Oh my gosh, how fortunate that the tire would have killed 4 people, minimum 4 people.
It's like that movie, in one of those horrible Final Destinations, they had like a car accident at the speedway and like the tire flew into the stands. At that speed trajectory,
Braylon,
it would have smashed the stands.
Braylon, there was a row of fans here.
Yeah.
A row of fans here, and the tire over the railing splits the uprights essentially and goes into the parking lot.
Yes.
It was
somebody's car is shot.
Oh, yeah, and it was, and they gave the person a new car at the end of the race.
Really?
Yeah.
They got that green.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
They-
It's wild though. I mean, we joke about it now,
Unbelievable.
but thankfully that would have been a tragic scene.
Oh my
Tragic
God.
scene.
What do you think of the Indy 500 winner down in that milk?
It's great. It's tradition.
It's great. It's tradition. I never really
Never
watched
understood it, but
the Indy 500.
I think it's cool.
I like the Grand Prix. I like the Grand Prix. So I like Lewis Hamilton. I've always been NASCAR guy because I was a Jeff Gordon guy. When he retired, I stopped watching.
The Rainbow Warrior.
Braylon, you're gonna have a little fun tonight with the Grand Prix.
Speaking of Grand Prix, yeah, I get a chance to go downtown. The people that are putting on the the Grand Prix, Green Bay, they're doing a foaling launching event. Maz, I thought you would like that.
Tell Chris Hunt I said hi.
I will.
We love Chris and Noni
in the
Hunt.
pit, so it should be fun. I'll be mic'd up with Channel 4. So.
Nice. Hey, last thing.
Hey, man. Thanks, Ryan.
So the Indy 500 goes to Team Penske.
Yeah.
The night after that is the Coca-Cola 600. He wins that too.
Oh, wow.
Team Penske sweeps the weekend.
Big deal.
Big races. Isn't that unbelievable?
And we'll be rooting for him here in Detroit as
Wow.
well. The Detroit Grand Prix back on the streets of downtown Detroit. Great stuff today,
Hold on,
gang.
NHL Stanley Cup.
Oh, yeah, very excited
Starts
about it.
Saturday night in Las Vegas. It's the Golden Knights. Now
terrible.
listen, I want to put a picture up. The Golden Knights beat the Stars yesterday in 6, so they go to the final. It's their second Stanley Cup final in their 6-year history.
Yeah.
The one on the left is back in 2018. They carried the Campbell Bowl around with them, so they touched the Campbell Bowl.
Yeah.
They lost the final to Washington.
Yeah.
This year, they don't touch the Campbell Bowl. The Panthers skate around with the Prince of Wales trophy, and they said, we don't give a damn.
I agree with that,
We don't
by the
give
way.
a damn. So the Panthers are going to be off like 2 weeks by the time they play game 1 on Saturday night. Vegas is going to be off 4 days. So they have the edge.
Yeah.
But, God, man.
Meanwhile, in that span, the Red Wings haven't been to the playoffs.
No, they haven't been to the playoffs.
Meanwhile,
And
they've been to the finals twice.
Twice in 6 years of their existence. of their existence.
There's something in not touching the trophy. It's funny you bring it up. You saw Jimmy Butler last night. He wouldn't even touch it was the Eastern Conference Championship trophy. He wouldn't touch it. He said, I touched the next one.
I appreciate a good superstition,
Yeah.
but enjoy the ride, man. It's freaking hard. You're an 8 seed that lost a play-in game. You had to win 2. Go touch that trophy, Jimmy Buckets. Enjoy it. This is fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's all. They're not. We want
But
the
he's
next
been
one.
there already.
We understand it. Go have some fun.
Hey,
But
D-Mac and
sports.
I we did a deep dive into this, and Parker. So D-Mac turned me on to this. He says, Maz, go back to the last time they won and see if they touched the Campbell Bowl. And they
he
did. You can
found
see
it.
Marc-Andre Fleury.
Oh, Marc-Andre Fleury.
There he is. He's not there anymore.
Very good.
All right.
And I'm not going to be here anymore either. Get us out of here.
It's good, man.
Hey, look, man, great show today. Getting it going. Feels like a Monday, but it's Tuesday. Next week will be Wednesday. Ryan Ermanni's clearly already delirious. We appreciate you. Time to get into the week. Appreciate you, Mike Gentry in there, Parker, JB over there, Uncle Matt.
By the way, TBS has the Stanley Cup final. I think that's horrible.
All right, man, shut up,
That's
man. We're out of here.
horrible.
Bye,
I thought it was
bye.
back
We're
on
out.
ESPN.
We're
Give
out.
it back.
We're out.